Uber Eats is rolling out a new fee structure. And when I saw this, the first thing was I thought, okay, this is going to be a really good, this is going to be a great thing for the industry. When I started reading through it and understanding it, I was just getting more confusing to me. So let's try to break this down and kind of go into it. So as of this past March 18th, you no longer see booking fees on Uber Eats. So if you're a Uber Eats user, you used to have that, everything from free to up to maybe $7.95 for a delivery. Those are no longer there. So now instead, orders are going to be delivered with Uber Eats can use these type of fees. Delivery fees varied for each restaurant based on things like your location and the availability of nearby couriers. And then you'll also kind of know how much you're going to pay before selecting a restaurant. So I think that's going to be a big key. Service fees equal to about 15% of the order subtotal are going to be charged. And I don't necessarily think this fee applies to restaurants that obviously deliver their own orders. What will be interesting is small orders that are maybe less than $10. That's where I think the fee ratio may not necessarily be worth it for an Uber order. So that could affect both QSR fast food as well as fast casual who have price points that are designed below that $10 range. So this will be interesting to see kind of how this starts to play into the consumer aspect. If there's any consumer pushback, I don't necessarily see a pushback from the restaurant side of it, at least as of yet. I think it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But to kind of give you an idea of where the proximity aspect of this is going to be going, delivery fees from $1.49 and upwards to about $8 depending on distance. In some markets, there's still an option to share couriers when an order is already placed at a restaurant for nothing, basically free. And that service fee still remains. So key services that people are going to love about and continue, I think, to love about Uber is you still get the curated list of delivery options instead of looking around for what restaurants deliver. More options outside the typical delivery windows and the ability to order something like a cup of coffee and a donut. In most cases is somewhat cost effective. So we'll kind of see how that continues to play out here with the price points changing with Uber. Here's some things that I think we have to look at. And when you look at kind of where Uber has been in the past few years, they have really positioned the brand being Uber Eats in a way I think that kind of has locked in the restaurant industry to utilizing them along with a handful of other players. But this fee structure has always been one that is kind of almost user-centric, and I think that's the one that is a bit more confusing. I know even on my own personal experience and some of our team here, we could be looking at the same thing on Uber Eats and getting two different fee structures in the past. And I think the idea behind Uber's move to try to deal with this and kind of cut down on some of that confusion may not necessarily be cutting down on confusion, may actually be enhancing confusion with all these new various factors and variants that kind of play into this. So I do think that this is going to be one of those scenarios that Uber is trying a lot of new things right now. And I believe that is because Uber Eats is still a somewhat trial aspect of their logistics business, when the restaurant industry has kind of blown up on the aspect of on-demand delivery. I still think Uber has got a lot to learn, and they're trying to do some things to basically get those learnings so they can understand how to enhance. And I think that's coming from a few pressure points. Obviously, we are seeing pressure points from, places like Grubhub, Postmates, DoorDash, and so on, along with the bit of pushback from the restaurant industry on the fees for the restaurateur themselves from Uber. So there's a lot of circling factors here that I do think are going to change how Uber continues to set their pricing. Don't be surprised if we see this structure change again in the near future, because I do think there could be some scenarios where customers will start to kind of maybe even push back or be more confused than what they were around the app itself. A lot left for Uber Eats in terms of growth, and I do think that they are in a position still to kind of take the leading edge position for on-demand delivery, as long as they don't really get in any kind of restaurant wars or consumer wars in terms of these fee structures.